Looks like we are live. Welcome to JB Rants. Let's see who comes over. I didn't advertise again, so it's always dicey. It's always kind of who knows what's going to transpire. But I do know this. I have my ukulele. We're going to be covering a Drudge Report. I'm trying a little bit of a different format where I don't mind covering other folks that have been doing this kind of thing much longer than I have done this, and I don't do it professionally. I don't get paid. I'm just a voice on the internet. It's just one person giving their opinions about what's going on in the news, and I do it from my private residence. I have no Patreon. I don't want anyone's money. I just want to see the chat, kind of like a lot of folks interact. That's really the entire genesis of what I'm trying to do here. While we warm up, 3 watching. I can't believe it. I love you guys so much. 3 watching, and I did not promote. I did not promote in Gramps. I was at Think Dragon earlier. Think Dragon is a great live stream. Sup, Ron White? Hi, I'm on but working. M-Gons. I'm not and not. I don't know what that means. All right. That's good. We got Ron White. We have Michael Gonzalez. Let's get a girl in here, or 5 or 10 or 50. I mean, come on, by virtue of my hair alone. I'm sure some girls are curious. I'm just kidding. I've given up quitting cigarettes. Oh, wait, no, I haven't. I purchased a bag of Bali Shag, so I'm rolling my own. So that's something. And my viewership went down to 1. Why not? Ron White enjoys that. All right, so as per my usual, I know it's an awkward time of day, especially on a Sunday. So if I wanted to do a show with Ron White, I'll just call up Ron White. But if we get some more folks in here, a joke, a play on Ron's words. Okay, I'll reread that. Hi, I'm on but working. Michael Gonzalez. I'm not and not. Okay, nice. Now I get it. So, one of my favorite, I will do a show. I don't care if no one watches. I will do a show. I'm a fan of Alex Jones. I don't care what people think about Rush Limbaugh or Alex Jones, or even now the reinvented Glenn Beck. Remember when Glenn Beck went through his little life crisis, and he like melted down, and he was like crying, and like everything was all fucked up, and it was like, the word, And now he's reinvented him, and he was a Trump hater. I love the president. Jason loves the president. JB Rants loves the president. Doesn't mean everything he does is perfect. Best president we've had since John F. Kennedy, in my opinion. And there's a lot of questions that are coming out now, okay, about John F. Kennedy Jr., JFK. Everyone knows he had side girls. He was banging, left and right. But all presidents do that. What's up with Drudge Report? Exactly. That's what I'm going to cover. Because the whole reason I went live is Alex Jones relies heavily on Drudge Report. I love Alex Jones. And I never got into Drudge Report. I just, not because of any bias on my part, or not because of any, I'm abstaining from, someone else. I just never got into it. So now I've gotten into it. And he has a very unique format. So hopefully when we get up to 5, which should happen. I had 11 the other day, and actually the other night I had 18. Now we're up to 4 watching. Very nice. So that's cool. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to live. Just my highest viewed video ever was when I used my mobile device, and I covered the lady that said, We have to eat the babies. We have to eat the babies at the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez Dimbalina, as Josh Bernstein calls her. My highest viewed video ever was when I didn't even make a real show. I just played off of my mobile device what these fucking psycho leftists, not the easiest word to say, where she says, we have to eat the babies, we have to eat the babies. My typical viewership is, like I said, between 8 and 11 and 15. That one has over 168 views. And I didn't do AOC for clickbait. I did it because it was so shocking to me that happened. All right, so it looks like my viewership is going to go in and out, up and down, kind of like a Chinese crossword puzzle. I don't even know where that joke came from. What the fuck is a Chinese crossword puzzle? I just somehow that's just what was in my heart 18 seconds ago that I said that. Am I a racist now? Am I a racist? JB is anti-China. No. I just made that joke off the top of my head. Michael Gonzalez, what's up with Drudge Report? Exactly. So that's what we are going to get into right now. So let me refresh the page real quick. All right, top headlines. Andrew Johnson back in the spotlight for 1868 impeachment brush. Click. All right, so let's cover a little bit of this stuff here. Oh my God, what can advertisements, fucking advertisements, gumming up the works. Jesus Christ. How do I get rid of all this? Watch on AP News. No, I just want to go to Drudge Report, you bitch. Okay, X out. Andrew Jackson back in spotlight for 1868 impeachment brush by someone named David Crary, posted yesterday. The president traveled the country fanning racial animus. He viewed the Congress with disdain. He also tried to undo some of the most important achievements of his predecessor using executive power. Full coverage, Trump impeachment inquiry. Okay. That was not Donald Trump, but another president who faced the... Wow, I'm a linguist and I'm a vocabulary person, and I don't know this word. That was not Donald Trump, but another president who faced the ignominy. Maybe someone can help me out with that word. You probably can't see it. Ignominy. IGNOMINY. Of impeachment, ergo Andrew Jackson. As the impeachment inquiry of Trump unfolds, Johnson, never among America's most famous presidents, though widely considered one of the worst, is attracting renewed attention. Johnson was the first president to be impeached by the House of Representatives in 1868. He escaped removal from office by a single vote short of the required 2/3 after his trial in the Senate, but was so disgraced he was denied his party's nomination that year. Trump and Johnson came from opposite ends of America's social spectrum. Johnson from deep poverty, Trump from great wealth. Yet they shared bellicose personalities, a disdain for political niceties, and a penchant for divisive, sometimes racist rhetoric. Trump is not a racist. I rebuke this article from Drudge Report right now. Trump, the president of the United States, is not a fucking racist. So this is why I understand why a lot of folks are leaving Drudge Report, because they're throwing in these kind of things. That's kind of like saying, oh man, should I even read the rest of this article? I will. But here's what they're doing. They're doing proxy attacks on the president now. So even people like Drudge Report, they've been taken over by the why are ads continually popping up? X, get out of here. That's called a sideways attack. That's what psychopaths do. It's called gaslighting. That's what sociopaths and psychopaths do. Man, Matt Drudge, what are you doing, Matt Drudge? Dude, I'm not a Trump lackey. When the president of the United States does something wrong, I'm the first one to call him out on the real stuff. And now even the Drudge Report is drawing comparisons. What the fuck? Trump and Johnson came from opposite ends of America's social spectrum. Johnson from deep poverty, Trump from great wealth. They shared bellicose personalities, a disdain for political niceties, and a penchant for divisive and sometimes racist rhetoric. Matt Drudge, fuck you. The President of the United States is not a racist. He's not a racist. He doesn't care. He wants everyone to work hard and do well. Men, women, old, young, black, white, Asian, Indian, fucking whatever you want. Mexican, whatever you want. He just wants to protect America. What the fuck is going on with Matt Drudge? Has he been bought out by the Illuminati? I haven't read the chat. This is very disappointing to me. John Meacham, a presidential historian who wrote a chapter on Johnson's case in a recent book on impeachment, has drawn a harsh comparison after Trump suggested... Wait, what? Why is this weird? I don't want that thing. There's... Harsh comparison after Trump suggested that 4 activist Democrat... They always call it Democratic, but they're Democrat. Socialists. Anyone who watches my show, if you don't have this, right in the forefront of your, if you don't have this impregnated into your frontal lobe, when you hear the word Democrat or Democratic, you need to think immediately socialist, communist, socialist, Democrat, same thing. They're changing the narrative. They're manipulating our words and our independent thinking process. Okay? So I lash back at them by saying, that's cool, you can do whatever you want. Good. Because the leaders that we nominate to public office, whether it's the president, Congress, Senate, whatever it is, doesn't matter. When you hear the word Democrat or Democratic, it needs to now in America, sadly, be synonymous with socialist, communist. Socialist, communist, Democrat, Democrat, communist, socialist. That's what it is. That's the facts. If you don't like it, don't watch my live stream. Okay? I'm just trying to tell you how things really are, in my opinion. And if you don't like it, don't watch my live stream. Those are the facts. Like Trump, Johnson was a temperamentally tumultuous man who defied norms of the era. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. That's why I voted for him. Meacham said in an email, quote, in Johnson's case, he actively sought to undo the verdict of the Civil War, as the Republicans of the day saw it. In Trump's case, he is actively seeking to nullify the constitutional order by using his powers to undo the sovereignty of our elections. What the fuck, Drudge Report? What are you doing? Matt Drudge. You've been taken over by the communists. I'll read the rest of the article, but I have a sinking suspicion that JB is going to totally rebuke, denounce, and never follow Matt Drudge again. This is a disgusting hit piece. This is a disgusting hit piece. What the hell? Johnson, a Democrat, became vice president under Republican Abraham Lincoln on a unity ticket during Lincoln's re-election campaign amid the Civil War in 1864. And by the way, what they taught us about the Civil War is not what they taught us in school, okay? Johnson became president after Lincoln's assassination in April 1865. Here comes the train, so I'll kind of shut up for a second. Oh, wow, I lost all my viewers. Great. Thank y'all who are sticking around. What's up, Ben Hatcher? Indiana Jones? Hi, Joan. Hi, Ben. Hi, Michael Gonzalez. All right, so that's in the chat. All right, let's finish this. Friction grew steadily between Johnson, who contended blacks were in. Oh. All right, I'll read this slowly. Friction grew steadily between Johnson, who contended blacks were incapable of self-government, and many of the Republicans who controlled Congress favored extending voting rights to blacks. Tensions peaked in 1868 when the House voted to impeach Johnson after alleging he had illegally fired War Secretary Edwin Stanton. I've never heard that name, Edwin Stanton. We need to look into this Edwin Stanton. We need to understand our real history. It's all free on the internet. Just look it up. We don't need school. We don't need history books. It's all on the internet. And it can be manipulated, so you need to use personal discernment. Everything you read on the internet is not gospel or fact, but it's certainly a great starting point. Mark Summers, a University of Kentucky history professor, noted that many historians in the past argued that Johnson's impeachment was a mistake and that it was fortunate he was able to stay in office. Summers, like many contemporary historians, takes a different view, depicting Johnson as a quote-unquote a very dangerous man. Quote, I would have convicted him with great enthusiasm, Summers said. Well, that's a really weird thing to say because the law is the law. There should not be enthusiasm if you're actually, and we're talking about folks from the 1800s here. What a fucking weirdo. Summers says it's also dangerous to seek precise comparisons of the Johnson and Trump impeachment dramas. Well, yeah, I agree, because the 2019-2020 fake impeachment it's fake. The president of the United States has done nothing wrong. They're just throwing, I mean, I hate to use cliches, but they're literally just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. That's not going to hold up in court. Fuck you. Democrats are super weird. They're either aliens or demons. I don't know, maybe a combination of both. Quote, definitions of what presidents are allowed to do have changed, unquote, he said. Quote, Donald Trump is suggesting the whole process is illegitimate. Sidebar, Johnson made it clear he'd abide by the Senate decision, unquote. Kerry Lee Merritt, a historian and writer in Atlanta, learned about Johnson's personal background while researching her 2017 book, quote, Masterless Men, Poor Whites and Slavery in the Antebellum South. All right, Matt Drudge works for the left, as far as I'm concerned. This is getting really gross. I'm going to keep reading. She said Johnson emerged from deeper poverty than any other U.S. president, even working as an indentured servant for a master who occasionally beat him. The fuck does that have to do with our lives these days? Those are my words. Quote, you're dealing with someone who puts themselves above their country. Sidebar, puts their reputation and legacy first, she said. Now, that's fair. If I was President Trump and I was accused of false things, hell yeah, I'd want to preserve my image. Absolutely. In mid-September, Johnson was the subject of a, quote, worst president ever, unquote, presentation by University of Maryland history professor Michael Ross. It was part of a, quote, Pints and Profs series hosted by a tavern in Washington, D.C. Quote, I convinced a good portion of the room that Johnson was the worst president, though some were lobbying for Richard Nixon or Woodrow Wilson, unquote, said Ross. So they're gaslighting us, folks. This is a psychological technique. And I'm going to stop reading this and I'm just going to do my show. Because, all right, Matt Drudge, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. I used to respect you. What's going on here? Did someone, you know what I'll do is I'll just read my friends in the chat. The only real news I get is from my chat. This fake, phony, false propaganda, fucking fluff piece garbage, Drudge Report, I never thought I would say a bad thing about Matt Drudge. You know what, Matt Drudge? I'm never looking at your stuff ever again. You're a leftist. You are either bought out or intimidated and caved in under the pressure. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you. Goodbye, Matt Drudge. Goodbye, Matt Drudge. You are a leftist propaganda tool, just like Shepard Smith was at Fox. And look what happened to Shepard Smith. Let's read the chat. Hi, I'm Gons. Ben Hatcher. Little, and Ben knows little. That's not a typo. Liddle, because he worked for the Liddle Kids Foundation because he's allegedly a satanic pedophile, raping kids all day. Look up the Liddle Children's Foundation, Liddle, Liddle. It's not Little Adam Schiff, Little, it's DDLE. He's a satanic pedophile, allegedly. Little Adam Schiff, Ben Hatcher. Little Adam Schiff is saying whistleblowers aren't needed anymore. He's backpedaling. Treason? Yeah, they're all treasonous pukes. Give me a fucking break. Dude, I just rebuked and I'm not even watching Drudge anymore. I mean, the Nazis are taking, the leftist Nazis. I was raised Democrat. I voted for Barack Obama in 2008. I like Tulsi Gabbard. I want Mike Pence to go to Secretary of State, and I want Pompeo to go back to CIA, and I want Tulsi Gabbard, a Democrat, to be the VP in 2020. Trump Tulsi 2020. I have no political party affiliation at all. I'm against these 6 satanic weirdos versus the rest of us. That's what I do in my channel. I mean, unless I do stupid music or some ukulele stuff, you know? All these fuckers are fucking insane. I'm not trying to be a pain. I can just make up songs when I want on my show, cause it's mine. Fuck it. Everyone just showed up in time. I'm not trying to be impressive or change your mind. You know, fuck it. Like, I just don't care. I just watch the news and I report on it. Michael Gonzalez, M-Guns. The Republicans wanted another, quote, insane reformer, unquote. Not a moderate or guy who wanted to go backwards. The Democrats, in parentheses, mostly Southerners, supported him or not to humiliate Republicans. And we got Bear Bear. I haven't seen Bear Bear forever. What's up, Bear Bear? Welcome to the chat. Vietnam was Lyndon Baines Johnson's war. Yes, it was to a degree. It was the Illuminati's war, but he was the mouthpiece. Ben Hatcher, did you see Omar with Antifa protesting outside Trump rally? Yes, a lot of people are saying that that was a clone or a double. I think it was her, Ben Hatcher. I think it was her. And since Antifa is a domestic terrorist organization, Antifa, if Ilhan Omar, who married her brother, and a lot of folks on the internet are saying she actually is a male who, had the surgical to make it a female. I'm not saying that, but a lot of folks on the internet are saying that. And there's that whole agenda. Her boyfriend was with her. Well, maybe good. I'll look it up. Michael Gonzalez, he was, again, I heard about it. I just haven't looked it up myself. I don't comment on things unless I've seen it myself yet. He was always a liberal, JB, but not a leftist. I'm just I want to get everything proper here. I don't want to miss anyone. I think I said hello to Indiana Joan. Indiana Joan, I love you so much. Been with us since day one. Nice lady. Only cares about the truth. Not that I'm right about it. Not that JB's right about everything. I read the news and I try to comment on it. Bear. Last Democrat I voted for was Carter. My ex-wife's family were Dems, and I used to be dumb. I was raised in northeastern United States of America. My entire family, except for one uncle, are hardcore socialist left-wing Democrats. They want Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to be president. Okay? The only way that I have a decent in and out of this entire, puddle of mud, essentially, is I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm a Trumplican conspiratorian. I'm a conspiracy guy, and I love the president of the United States because the media hates his guts. If the corporate Nazi propaganda, CNN, Nazi propaganda, MSNBC, Nazi propaganda, ABC, CBS, Nazi propaganda, most of Fox, Nazi propaganda. If they hate the person who's in office, I love the person who's in office. I don't care if our next president is a black lesbian. I don't care if our next president of the black lesbian woman. I don't care if our next president of the United States is Tulsi Gabbard. When the media starts attacking them, I know that that's a good president because the media hates them, because the media is the wing of the international globalist bankers run out of the Queen of England and the Illuminati and the trillionaires who print all the money, that own the Federal Reserve and did 9/11 and faked Sandy Hook. Let me say that again. Who did 9/11 and faked Sandy Hook. Let me say it a third time. Who did 9/11 and faked Sandy Hook. No one died at Sandy Hook. It was a movie. A lot of people don't want to hear that. A lot of people are going to leave my stream because I said something like that. Well, you know what? Why don't you find me a cousin, a relative, a friend of a friend of a friend who knew someone's direct relative, or anyone. Your mailman's dog once sniffed someone's lawn who once knew someone who allegedly died at Sandy Hook, and you give me their name, and I will take back every single fucking thing I've ever said about the fact that Sandy Hook didn't happen, and I will apologize. I will do a 2-hour video about how sorry I am for saying that Sandy Hook didn't happen. But you know what? It's never going to happen. You know why? Because Sandy Hook didn't happen. It was a movie. Let that sink in. Interesting. Indiana Jones. Love to you, but Indiana Jones follows up with, because I'm in the dental industry. Did anyone else notice Omar has fangs on her bottom teeth? No, I try not to look at her a lot because she's so disgusting, but I'm going to look that up. Indiana Jones, Michael Gonzalez. I'm a latecomer to Republicans. The last Democrat, Al Gore, then 9/11 happened. Al Gore is a good man. Gore would have been a fine president. I would have voted for him. I wasn't old enough, but I would have voted for him. Al Gore is a decent man. He doesn't, from all of my research, he does. That's just my opinion. Maybe y'all can dig up some dirt on Al Gore, but from all my research, Al Gore is a fine person. Again, I don't care about political parties. They're both owned and controlled by the same international interests. Bottom eye teeth. Indiana Jones, very nice. Bear, Trump, Bear 2020. Well, we'll see. Let's see if I run. I'll give you a run for your money. So they keep cutting me off. I have full bandwidth. It's really a disgrace what they're doing. So I don't know what the hell's going on with all that stuff. It's kind of weird. Oh well. Tuck and roll, tuck and roll, tuck and roll. I gotta take a relief of the bladder real quick. I'll be right back. That's way better. All right. Indiana Jones, bottom eye teeth. Oh wait, shit. Bear relieves himself in the woods. Well, I hope you don't end up being hit by one of those trees that falls down where no one's there to hear it. JJ will feel gooder in a moment. Yeah, massive urination. Is power back on in California? Ben Hatcher, I have no idea. I've been following that. Although what I do understand from a lot of the folks that I follow their subsequent research is that Pacific Gas and Electric, PG&E, 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 Pacific Gas and Electric has a lot to do with that. It's a very unnecessary power outage. What the fuck is going on here, folks? What the fuck is going on here, folks? Can anyone explain this to me? I have my theories. Is 519. All right. Looks like everything is kind of slowing down here. So what I'm going to do, yeah. All right. So I'm going to end the broadcast. We will go back on later. And as I always say, thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in to my uncensored opinions on what's going on in the news. We covered Drudge Report a little bit. I am growing ever more suspect of Matt Drudge. I don't know if he was bought out or if he was threatened. There's lots of ways the Illuminati takes control of, people who get a little too big. That's why I appreciate y'all so much for watching my stream, because I want to keep it a small stream. I don't want that knock on the door. Michael Gonzalez comes in with something that's going to make me stay on. And also we have another viewer. So I'll stay on a few more minutes. Indiana Jones, I'm not going to thank you, BC, later. I'm going to stay on a few more minutes because I got to dig that one out a little bit. Michael Gonzalez knows what I'm talking about. Pacific Gas and Electric, known as PG&E, cannot build more power plants. Why is that? Without violating California, I don't call it California anymore. I call it Califexico or California. Yeah, Bear. Red Pill 78 and I are friends. We just haven't gotten each other on each other's channels, but Red Pill 78 and I are friends. It's just a matter of time before he's either on my show or I'm on his show. Oh, yeah, I watch Red Pill 78 every single day. I've never missed a video. Without violating California ecology laws. So they can't... Okay. This is kind of like... Okay. Let the enemy destroy themselves. That's directly that scenario right there. Bear, look at his last video. I will. I haven't watched Red Pill 78 today, but once I end this, I'm going to eat some food, roll a tobacco cigarette. I've gotten off of the filter Marlboros and I'm rolling my own again. I even got the rolling machine and everything. So once I'm done with my live stream, I'm going to go outside. I'm going to roll myself a tobacco cigarette, and I'm going to watch Red Pill 78. Michael Gonzalez, it is already getting sued for, quote, previous sins. All right, so Michael Gonzalez, you have the floor on the chat, and I'll say it with my voice and my face. Tell us more. It is already getting sued for previous sins. So PG&E is getting sued for, quote, unquote, previous sins. Am I right? And what does that mean? What are the implications? And the subsequent, one of my favorite words, ramifications. What does that mean for the rest of us? Because if Califexico directs the social narrative of the rest of the country, we're going to have Hillary 2020 as president. That I can tell you right now. Michael Gonzalez, it cannot build nuclear power plants. It cannot make more coal plants and cannot make more hydro. So that means hydroelectric plants Bear follows up with explosions and fires and no electric or shortwave radios. Yeah, I heard about that. They shut down the they shut down the shortwave radio operators somehow, some way. So what the fuck is going on in California? And why are there 5 people in the chat and it says that there are 2 people watching? YouTube, you're so stupid. You're so dumb. You think you're fooling us? YouTube is very stupid. I got 5 people live in the chat, and you say that there are 2 watching. Stupid. Stupid little gremlins. I haven't used that word in 20 years. YouTube, you're gremlins. You're little gremlins running around like, we don't like what this guy's saying. We work for the deep state. Oh, his hair is getting too long. Hey, at least, and maybe some of the fucking, I'm sure the deep state, I'm sure the Google trolls probably have like a few girls, like nice looking, women with their hair combed back, and they're like CIA types with the nice pantsuit, like sexier than Hillary, because there's nothing more unsexy than Hillary Clinton, but they have the nice pantsuits and they gel their hair back or mousse their hair back, and they watch my show and they go, we have to interfere with JB Rants because he speaks too much truth. But he's kind of cute. He's shaved and he does his hair and his glasses are kind of sexy. But no, he loves the president, so we must destroy him. But I'd love to go on a date with him. I want to date one of you female weirdo CIA fucking NSA garbage. I'll turn you to the light. Hello? Sure.